In the East, samurais were renowned for their honor, loyalty, and unwavering resilience. Today, we'll discuss how these qualities can guide you through a challenging, personal situation. When you start noticing signs that your girlfriend might not be as honest with you as she once was, I'll go over 7 signs that may indicate infidelity and explain how you can stay calm, act with honor, and carry yourself with dignity, no matter what you find out. She's spending more time on her phone. If your girlfriend suddenly seems glued to her phone, it's a serious reason to pause and consider. You might notice that she's constantly receiving messages, seemingly chatting with someone almost around the clock. Her phone is always in hand, and she reacts to notifications as if something extremely important is happening. She starts taking secretive calls, giving excuses about talking with friends, changing her password, or turning her screen away when you're nearby. This behavior goes beyond a sign of the times or a desire for a bit of personal space. It could be a clear sign that someone else might be taking your place in her life, or at least competing for it. A true samurai doesn't turn away from reality or close his eyes to the obvious. He doesn't hide behind illusions or make excuses when the facts speak for themselves. Being honest with oneself can sometimes be painful, but it's better to see the truth than to be a prisoner of false hope. Remember, a samurai values straightforwardness and clarity, even if it's not what he wants to hear. Strength lies in acknowledging that you may no longer be the only person receiving her attention and time. If you sense rising tension, don't ignore it or wait for the situation to worsen. A man who respects himself asks questions and expects answers. She's spending less time with you. If your girlfriend has started spending less time with you, this might be a sign that you shouldn't ignore. The time you once spent together, evenings, conversations, and outings, has suddenly decreased. She's always occupied with new activities, urgent meetings, or unexpected commitments. She often attributes it to work or social obligations, but such sudden distancing might mean her interest in you is fading, and someone else may be capturing her attention. When a person stops seeking your company and avoids the time you used to treasure together, it's likely not a coincidence. If she's more eager to be somewhere else and with someone else than by your side, it's worth considering. A drastic change in her priorities is a warning sign to take note of. Be honest with yourself and don't fear the truth, even if it's uncomfortable. It's better to recognize it now than to remain in a relationship where you're no longer a priority. She's paying more attention to her appearance. If you've noticed that your girlfriend has started paying more attention to her appearance than before, this could be a sign that you shouldn't ignore. Previously, getting ready might have taken her just 15 minutes, quickly styling her hair, picking an outfit, and applying a light makeup. But now it turns into hour-long rituals in front of the mirror, carefully selecting her outfit, applying makeup, and doing her hair. It's possible that she simply wants to change up her style, try something new, and explore a different look. But if these changes happen suddenly and raise questions for you, it's worth thinking about. Wanting to look better is natural and can be driven by many factors. Sometimes it's about personal growth or a desire to highlight her beauty. However, if these changes happen abruptly, especially if you've never witnessed anything like it before, ask yourself honestly, for whom and why is she trying so hard? When someone is in a relationship and starts putting a lot more time and effort into their appearance, it could be a sign that they want to impress not just you, but someone else. Don't jump to conclusions, but don't ignore these changes either. If she suddenly updates her wardrobe, starts wearing bright colors when she previously preferred more muted tones, it could mean that someone new has entered her life and she wants to look better for them. Of course, the desire for change itself isn't a bad thing, but if it feels like she's doing it not for you, that's a reason to be cautious. Another important aspect to pay attention to is how she behaves after these changes. If her new looks are accompanied by secrecy, she leaves without showing you her new outfit, or hides where and with whom she's going, that could be a serious signal. Maybe she's spending time trying to look attractive, but acts as though you shouldn't see or know about it. There are times when a person just wants change, but if you feel like she's not sharing her excitement about her new look or hairstyle, it might indicate that these changes aren't meant for you. In relationships where both partners respect and value each other, such things are usually shared and discussed openly. On the other hand, a woman who is in love and happy with her man usually loves when he notices her efforts and changes. She's eager to share those moments and might even ask for his opinion. She's becoming closed off and avoiding conversations about the future. If your girlfriend has suddenly become more closed off and tries to avoid discussions about the future, this could be a serious red flag. When people are planning a life together, they usually share their dreams, make plans, and discuss what they want to create together. But if she starts avoiding these topics or seems tense when talking about the future, it could indicate that her view of the relationship is changing. Often, when someone becomes emotionally distant, it shows in their unwillingness to discuss something personal and important. She may dodge direct questions or give vague answers that leave you uncertain about how she envisions your future together. This could even apply to small things, plans for the weekend, or more serious matters, like moving in together, shared housing, or joint projects. If you start noticing that it's difficult to discuss these topics, and she prefers to change the subject, it may signal that her thoughts and desires are focused elsewhere. It's also important to notice how her overall attitude toward you and your relationship has changed. When a girlfriend avoids being open, it could suggest that she's emotionally shutting down, possibly because she no longer sees you as part of her future. In some cases, it might also mean that she doesn't want to give you false hope or create unnecessary expectations. Understanding that her feelings for you have changed, most likely, she doesn't want to hurt you or create open conflicts. But if you notice these signs, it might indicate that your relationship no longer holds the same place in her life. In relationships where trust and openness exist, both partners are usually ready to discuss the future, share hopes, and set goals together. If she avoids those conversations, it could mean her inner mindset has changed. Don't be afraid to ask yourself a tough question. If she's not willing to share her plans and desires with you, does it mean her future is already being planned without you in it? It's better to see the truth now and understand what's happening than to remain in the dark, building illusions about a future together that is no longer so certain for her. She accuses you of jealousy without reason. If your girlfriend starts accusing you of being jealous or distrustful without any apparent reason, this could be a sign that she's trying to deflect attention from her own actions. Often, people who are hiding something important or afraid of being exposed will provoke conflicts by accusing their partner of excessive jealousy or control. This allows them to avoid direct questions and shift the conversation away from their behavior, making you feel guilty for noticing troubling signals. The scenario usually looks like this. When you simply want to understand why her behavior has changed, perhaps she's become more closed off, spending more time away from home, or glued to her phone, she suddenly turns it into an argument. She might say that you're being too suspicious or that your jealousy is ruining her ability to live peacefully. But be careful, sometimes this behavior is just a tactic to transfer guilt onto you, so you stop asking uncomfortable questions. This is a common tactic, distracting attention by accusing the other person of being overly suspicious. In doing so, the person hides their true intentions while creating the illusion that the problem lies with you, not their behavior. You might think you're exaggerating or worrying too much, but don't close your eyes to the fact that her accusations are unfounded and only appear when you start noticing something strange. Staying vigilant in such a situation means not letting yourself get confused and objectively assessing what's happening. You don't need to justify your feelings or concerns. If she's trying to make you feel guilty for simply wanting clarity and trust in the relationship, it could be a signal that your doubts are well-founded. The appearance of a new friend or frequent mentions of a colleague When your girlfriend suddenly starts mentioning a new friend or colleague frequently, especially with noticeable enthusiasm, this could be a red flag. It is perfectly natural for her to meet new people, whether at work or among friends. But if this person starts taking up too much space in her conversations, you should be cautious. For instance, if she talks about his actions, jokes, or work-related moments with a special smile, or casually mentions his name every day, it might suggest that he occupies her thoughts more than you'd expect. Her eyes might light up when she talks about him, or she could get distracted by her phone when she receives messages from this friend. It may seem harmless, but if these mentions become regular, the question arises, why is this person so important to her that she feels the need to talk about him constantly? Often, the person doesn't even realize that their attention has shifted to someone new, but it becomes clear to their partner, who notices the change in behavior and mood. If she avoids discussing these relationships in detail or becomes secretive, this only raises suspicion. It might just be a friendship, but when she talks about this new friend or colleague with noticeable excitement, something you've only seen in your own relationship before, it may signal an emotional shift. You shouldn't jump to conclusions or accuse her, but it's important to maintain a clear perspective. In healthy relationships, both partners respect each other's feelings and avoid giving reasons for unnecessary jealousy. If she frequently discusses other men with particular warmth, it's important to think about where this might lead and why this person is making her feel this way. Avoiding intimacy. When there is emotional distance in a relationship, it rarely happens without reason. One of the most noticeable signs of distancing is avoiding physical intimacy. If your girlfriend, who once expressed affection and passion, suddenly begins avoiding even simple touches, this could be a worrying sign. Of course, there are times when stress, fatigue, or being busy may cause a temporary loss of interest in intimacy, and this is perfectly normal. However, if this avoidance becomes a constant, it's worth considering the underlying reasons. Often, avoiding physical contact goes hand in hand with emotional distance. When someone starts distancing themselves, it can manifest not only as a reluctance to have sex, but also as avoiding hugs, hand-holding, or kisses, elements that strengthen emotional bonds. When that bond is gone, the person avoids any form of closeness that once felt natural and enjoyable. She might justify her behavior by saying she's tired or not in the mood, and there's nothing suspicious if it happens from time to time. But if this becomes the norm, it could mean her feelings have changed. Sometimes, distance occurs because someone emotionally switches their focus to someone else. In this case, it may be difficult for her to stay close to you, as her thoughts and feelings are already connected to another person. This may not be a conscious choice. Often, people in such situations don't even realize what's happening and try to justify their behavior based on their feelings. However, if the distance continues to grow, and she avoids even brief touches or spontaneous hugs, this could signal an invisible wall forming between you. You might try talking to her about it, asking what's bothering her, and listening to her response. It's possible that she's feeling insecure or dealing with something that's not directly related to your relationship. However, if she avoids the conversation or answers vaguely while continuing to avoid intimacy, this is likely something worth considering. Healthy relationships are built on mutual understanding and trust, and when one partner starts hiding their true feelings, it may point to a deeper issue. It's important not to rush to conclusions, but also not to ignore obvious signs. If physical distance becomes her way of pulling away from you, it could mean her feelings have changed, and she no longer sees you as someone with whom she wants to share those intimate moments.
Subscribe to our channel. Are you ready to become the best version of yourself? On our channel, we share samurai techniques and lessons that will help you develop your charisma, confidence, and inner strength. If you're looking for real self-development tools and striving for personal growth, you'll find exactly what you need here. By developing your thinking and choosing quality content, you not only become a more interesting person, but also create an aura around you that attracts people. Knowing how to attract others starts with working on yourself, and that work never ends. Every day is an opportunity to become a better person, and your efforts will be noticed.